but this is the S&P 500 or the SPY. Remember, the SPY is the tracking ETF for the S&P 500. Now, right now, the futures are trading up just a little bit, not much, but just a tiny bit. And basically what we saw, this is the daily chart. So we had the sharp run up in the S&P 500. We took out this down-sloping trend line here, right? So this was a long-term down-sloping trend line. We broke above it. We continued up. We didn't fill this gap just yet. And so I do think we have to be on alert that there may still be one more push up in the stock market, all right? And we're going to find out today with Jerome Powell speaking a little bit later. That's a major news piece that you want to follow as well, because again, Jerome Powell is watching this market. He knows what he wants. He probably does not want the market to skyrocket back to all-time highs on the S&P 500. So does he try to put some cold water on it to keep it from doing that? Or is he just as dovish as he was just last week when they reported their latest policy statement?
Bitcoin dipped for a fifth consecutive day Monday before regaining ground later in the day to trade near $23,000. The largest cryptocurrency by market capitalization was recently down about a half a percentage point over the past 24 hours, according to data from CoinDesk. Hello and welcome to Money Talks. In today's video, founder and chief market strategist at InTheMoneyStocks.com and Verified Crypto Investing, Gareth Soloway updates about Bitcoin's current market standing, the final bottom in crypto, and his outlook for Bitcoin in 2023.
Let me see what else. Let's go to Bitcoin. Let's see what's going on in the Bitcoin chart here. Bitcoin's having a small daily bounce. Keep in mind, we had this beautiful topping tail here, and I pointed this out to members of Verified Investing Crypto. And again, Verified Investing Crypto members, as soon as I saw that topping tail, I said, okay, guys, this is a short-term sell signal. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4 down days following that topping tail. If you guys aren't familiar with topping tails and bottoming tails, they're amazing indicators of potential tops and bottoms. Definitely something you want to check out. Again, I teach it in the Verified Investing Education series, the Winning Trader series. And again, you can find that at verifiedinvestingeducation.com. All right, couple other things here. As we see, Bitcoin is getting a small bounce today. And again, the big thing to watch for markets bouncing, look at the dollar. The dollar is up slightly. Watch it on Powell. When Powell speaks, if the dollar pops, you have resistance at 104.20 or so. And again, I do think that the dollar is having a 3-bar surge, 1, 2, 3. You likely, even if you get a little pop here, you're likely going to get a pullback in the dollar. That would bode well for a continued small bounce in Bitcoin and maybe potentially the stock market, all right? So again, any sort of dollar weakness, you should expect the equity market, the assets in general, risk assets like Bitcoin, to get a little bit of a pop.
Bitcoin has had a few rough sessions, but broadly speaking, it still looks in good shape, sitting within the range it's traded in over the last couple of weeks and not far from the New Year highs. Craig Earlham, senior market analyst at forex services firm Oanda, wrote in a Monday note, Bitcoin, BTC, has risen about 40% in price this year amid surging investor confidence that inflation is waning without throwing the U.S. economy into recession. An unexpectedly strong employment report on Friday raised fresh concerns on both counts and sent crypto assets below $23,000 over the weekend after it breached $24,000 on a couple of occasions last week. Meanwhile, Ether, ETH, the second largest crypto in market value, edged higher by 1.3% to recently trade at $1,640. The CoinDesk Market Index, which measures overall crypto market performance, was up 1% for the day.
All right. Next up, let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla's on my radar. It is trading up on the day. The key level I have on Tesla, which is a sell short level, is going to be this beautiful level here, right? So again, Tesla, look at this pivot low, look at this pivot low right here. And again, that is a beautiful maneuver right there, right through here as well. That gives us a very strict resistance level right around 206 on Tesla. So Tesla, again, 206 is going to be your major resistance. If we continue up, and let's just say risk on continues for the next few months, where would we head as your maximum upside? this down-sloping trend line would be next. So resistance 1, which is major, again, that would be a shortable level. And then again, later on, if it continues through, resistance number 2, this down-sloping trend line, beautiful resistance there. It's been an amazing bounce in Tesla, basically almost 100% off of the lows. But again, you're finally starting to come into some major resistance on the chart. All right, a couple other things here as we go through it. I want to take a look at Apple. Apple, again, had a big surge on the back of the reversal on earnings. Now, this was mind-blowing to me. Let me just tell you guys. Apple earnings were not great. They were not good at all. So, we saw a decline in revenue. We saw, different things like that. So to see the reversal on Friday from a gap down and is down as much as 5% in the aftermarket on Thursday to actually a touch of the highs at this pivot high, that was amazing to me. Now, we saw a little bit of a reversion to the mean, kind of reverting back down yesterday. I'm going to watch this very closely. But notice the high on that day matched perfectly the high right here. That now is the resistance to beat, meaning that Apple, technically, right here, is a short unless you take out this line right here, which is at 157.40. All right, so again, use these technicals. This is how a trader thinks, right? A trader does not think, oh, it could go higher, it could do this. Maybe in some weird situation, it goes to $200. A trader uses specific technical levels to guide them. And basically what you're doing by using technical levels is you're using probabilities. So what we know is that when Apple spiked up, it stopped on a dime, like literally to the penny with this pivot high right here. Okay? And so basically that tells us that unless this line is taken out on a daily closing basis, technically, that is your level that you can short up against. So when you look at Apple and you see this mammoth push to the upside, to me, I'm looking to short that level. All right. So again, to me, Apple is a short anywhere in this range up here, as long as it does not close above 157.40 or so. All right. So again, very important to understand how the retail crowd analyzes and goes by their emotion. What's Twitter saying? What are my big influencers I follow on Twitter going about? Are they saying they're buying a new Lambo because they made all the profits in Bitcoin's recent move? And does that get me emotionally like, oh my goodness, I have to chase this move because I want to buy a Lambo? BS. Don't follow that. Look to the chart. The chart is always going to be your truest form of honesty. Okay? And again, that's why I'm successful at what I do and why the people that I teach are successful, because once you learn to control your emotion, you then can focus in on the probabilities, which don't guarantee winners always. God knows I am not a perfect trader, but far from it. But if you can win 7 out of 10 times, 8 out of 10 times, you're going to be a Hall of Famer in this game, right? That's just the bottom line.
Traditional markets kicked off a new week lower as investors mulled the U.S. Federal Reserve's response to the jobs data. The S&P 500 index and the tech-heavy NASDAQ composite closed down 0.6% and 1% respectively during the afternoon trading session. The Dow Jones Industrial Average, DJIA, was down 0.1%. The Federal Reserve raised interest rates by a quarter point last week after 8 months of more hawkish half- and three-quarter-point hikes. BTC's current $20,000 threshold is a firm technical support, according to Macmillan, although he said he wouldn't be surprised to see BTC retest this critical mark. Crypto volatility is going to persist this year, even if the uptrend is structurally bullish, he said. I think the key thing for investors now to keep an eye on is understanding Bitcoin volatility and how to price it and size it in their portfolios.
In terms of my Bitcoin, I just want to be clear on this because a lot of people are continuing to wonder, is my analysis still showing, is it going to still go down to the 12 to 13,000 level and potentially 9? And I want to stress that as of now, the larger time frame technicals are still showing that. So be very, very careful. I could be wrong, of course. Again, I am wrong every once in a while. But right now, to me, I would be much more intrigued if this pop doesn't touch 25,000. We have a position in verified investing crypto. I would be unloading that there and then looking for a bigger move down. I think it's very interesting how investors have gotten so bullish on Bitcoin when it's this small of a move. Look at the size of that move, and then look at where the all-time highs were. So to be able to claim this is a new bull market, it's a little tricky. And I've seen a lot of so-called fundamental analysis out there that, this must be the bottom, the 4-year cycle, this and that. But remember, the 4-year cycle was under the guise of Fed printing money. They're not printing money right now. So you have to be a little bit open to things changing up a little bit here. Just like, and I want to be clear on this, we had one of the longest bull markets from 2009 to 2021. Why? Was that a normal cycle? No, it was literally the longest bull market we've ever had. I mean, yeah, you had the COVID collapse in there, but that was like 2 months. You really didn't have any long-term bear markets. It was the longest bull market we've pretty much ever seen. Why? Because the Fed was printing money. So there is this impact on cycles that occurs when you have artificial drugs being introduced into the system, i.e. Fed printing of money. So we really have to be aware of that. And I think that gets me a little bit more cautious that maybe the low is in on Bitcoin and makes me think there's still potentially some downside to it.
So, what are your thoughts about Gareth Soloway's prediction? Tell us in the comments. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon with the next video. Thank you so much for watching.